Ladies and gentlemen, and all genders outside and in between, this world is a world of darkness, and there may be some subjects that are quite triggering.
The clock on the wall of Demeter's office announces that it is roughly 3 hours until dawn, until the sun rises and day sleep claims you. And as the tall, well-built sheriff of Birmingham stalks around the room, you are given no doubt that this killing in this domain, with this interference and this package, stands as some kind of threat on every level imaginable. Her movements are slow and precise. And she looks over each of you carefully as she eases herself onto the seat.
Feel like we're gonna be here a while. Dee, could I trouble you for a cup of tea? Should I just help myself?
Demeter smiles at you and gives you a little reassuring nod and nudges the teapot across the coffee table towards you.
Thank you, Dee. Thank you. Smells like amazing jasmine tea.
Romy looks over at this exchange and then turns to look more towards Finn and CT. Where were you when this happened to Saoirse?
We were getting the package that Dee told us to get.
Okay, basically the situation is that, well, Saoirse needed the package. The package was delivered by somebody or other, and they dropped the package off at a certain station, and we had an exchange of favors. Like, we were gonna go get the package because me and Finn are well known, and you were and then Saoirse was gonna put up some wards at our new domain. That was the deal.
And
Is
then,
that where you found her?
No, what at the new domain? Yes.
Mm-hmm. And it looked like she was supposed to be putting up words, but didn't get quite around to it. So.
She didn't tell me she was going there tonight. You see things that others don't. What did you see there? Anything
Yes,
that would help us?
I did see something. Are you okay enough to hear it, Dee?
Dee gives you a kind of sympathetic, soft smile and reaches to sort of pat your arm and says, yes, of course, dear, don't worry about me. Important matters have to take precedent over sensibilities.
Well, what I saw was very unsettling. As we approached a door, I saw some shadows dancing under it, a larger shadow. I am guessing a man a large man and a smaller shadow, which we now know is Cersei, or was Cersei's. And there was a struggle. There was some violence. And then Cersei collapsed to the ground, and that's when I burst through the door, but whoever the second shadow was already gone. It was too late.
And they couldn't have left through any other ways
Right.
that I could physically think of, because everything was closed, nothing had been disturbed, just that door.
Right. And I'm not sure if what I saw was how the timeline was with that, if that's just something that I sensed when I got there, or if I was witnessing it before my very eyes and I was just a second too late from saving her, and God knows I would have tried, Dee. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Dee gives your arm a gentle squeeze, and she, tilting her head towards yours, muttering softly enough that only you can hear, she says, "You couldn't have done anything. Not this time." Romy scowls slightly at the news and appears to be looking over each of you, searching for something. Finally, she turns her gaze to Bing Bing and says, "A package was mentioned. One of Saoirse's. Do you have it?"
Yes. We split it amongst us in case we got separated.
What did it contain?
Some silver powder for warding and an unknown tincture. I've never seen it before.
There was also a note. We don't know who it's from.
Do you suspect the target was the person or the package?
I mean, I think that the person that killed Saoirse, the target was the package, because he rifled through her pockets and stuff. We have her body. We didn't want to leave it and obviously break the Masquerade, and we thought they should be returned to the clan. But yeah, we've got the package, we've got the body and what have you. But I think that when we were attacked by the blonde lady I mentioned, and that was actually just a territory thing. Turns out that I'm not as well known as I thought I was. You know?
Infamously
or too
known.
well known.
Yeah. Maybe?
Romy, do we have a new wanderer amidst our number?
The most recent addition to the domain, as far as I am aware, is Miss Shields here. Why?
Not really a wanderer.
The note mentions a wanderer.
Could they mean M?
Maybe it is about him.
You don't
Maybe.
wander, yeah.
I mean, sometimes
Being kind of looks over at M,
what?
like size, just like,
Emily has been introduced to our domain on an understanding of excellent vouching. She is well respected, as is her bloodline, and the prince has seen fit to accept her here.
Yes, thank you. You can't seriously be... Bing Bing, please don't look at me like that with those dead eyes.
I mean,
I'm
I know
dead.
I'm not necessarily of the
My eyes
purest
don't come another way.
whatever, but
What were you saying? What were you saying, Finn?
I know that I wasn't part of one of the purest blood or whatever, but didn't seem like they were worried about me at all.
I mean, yeah, but like you were saying about wanderers of us, I'm probably the biggest wanderer around. I've been everywhere, you know what I mean? But it could be anybody. It could be Gangrel, it could be Ravnos, it could be a load of Malkavian, it could be anybody. There are. Sorry. Oh, go ahead, CT. No. I'm just thinking about all the people I've met in my travels and how many wanderers there are. There's loads. You know? Do you mind if I?
Dee, would it be completely inappropriate to ask you where you were tonight? Oh, well, of course. I mean, I've been here speaking with Romy about the plans for Elysium. There's a lot to organize.
Can I read anything from Dee's body language? Because I've known her a while.
Yeah, you can. Give me it will be an insight check.
Okay, insight.
Given that you know Dee very well, let's say it's an insight check. For success critical, wow. Bing Bing, Dee is unsettled. The tea that she has been cradling in the cup and saucer has been set down on the table next to her rather than clutched in her lap, and you know how much she enjoys the warmth of fresh tea and the smell of it. Instead of clutching the cup, she still has one hand lingering on M's arm and is staring at Romy with quite some intensity.
I sense the unseen.
You absolutely can, yeah.
I can't remember what the roll was for it. Wits and Auspex, wasn't it?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah, it's either your wits or your resolve. Nothing that you notice at first. And then in the corner of the room, something a little unusual. It looks like a man, but it's kind of only got the same substance as a light mist. He stood by the window, watching the group. And what's unusual to you is his clothing is horribly old-fashioned.
We all see this?
Only CT.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna act as if I'm going over to the window as if I'm like really nervous, just doing what I'm doing, just like, just like, and then kind of like try and bump into where this mist would be.
Okay.
So,
yeah, you walk across the room, and with that kind of little bump attempt, you go straight through it.
CT's being really considerate, blowing his smoke out the window there.
CT, please.
Yeah, look at that.
Please, CT, some decorum.
Look, it's just a really awkward situation we're in, and I am not prepared for it, and I don't like being not prepared for things. It just gets right under my skin, you know?
You prepare?
Right, what?
Yeah, I prepare. I'm prepared for anything, not most of the time, but this was not what I was expecting. A nice little postman job. I'd wear a tiny little pair of shorts, jump in a Royal Mail van and paint Betsy, it'll be fine, and then they'll be fine. But no, we've got Saoirse who's in my bed, and
Charles, sorry to interrupt you, but if you wouldn't mind taking just a little step to the right, it's just that you're really crowding Dimitri and he doesn't like it.
And I'm gonna look directly at Dimitri and then take a step.
Oh.
Thank
My
you.
bad.
Dimitri? Also, Charles, that's your name? Cool. Good to know.
Don't you know. CT.
Nice meeting you, Chuck.
God damn it.
Yes, Dimitri is a friend of mine. He likes to come and talk to me occasionally. We've been a little busy this evening. I promised him we'd have a catch-up just a little bit later than usual, and it appears he's not too impressed with my timekeeping. CT, you see as Dimitri sort of turns, looks out the window again, and then looking back at Demeter, just shakes his head and taps his wrist. And the rest of you, all you see is Demeter look over towards the window and make a kind of grimacing apology and move to pour out a second cup of tea.
So it's not just Chuck here that's crazy.
Has he been here this whole time?
Not craziness.
Oh.
It's one of Dee's gifts.
Oh, goodness, you haven't spent much time around our clan, have you, Finn? No, apologies. You see, you know how we kindred anchor ourselves to the living to avoid losing ourselves? Well, the dead do something similar, but they anchor themselves to objects, you see, and it happens I have something that Dimitri quite values, so I like to keep it around, and he keeps me company.
Learn something new every day.
Dimitri!
I'm glad you have a friend. Sorry to keep your friend waiting. I waved to the wrong part of the window.
At this point, Romy firmly clears her throat and says, yes, very pleasant. Tea with spirits. Charming. Not the point. Do you mind? And Demeter, holding one hand up, mouths an apology. If you wouldn't mind, it sounds like we have somewhat of a problem on our hands, and I have a suggestion. If you've only been able to glean so much from the murder site itself, I would suggest that perhaps we ought to go and find out what Saoirse herself was working on. How does that sound?
We have a book. We have a book that may or may not have been gifted to her by the professor. Don't know whether it's the same one or not, but I know the professor gifted her a book. And
Bing Bing opens her clutch and kind of rummages through. A ritual book. It's missing all of its resurrection pages.
Yeah, resurrection.
Demeter's face lights up when you produce this book, and she holds out a hand for it.
Bing Bing passes it along.
Yes, I remember this one. Yeah, she was working on something quite fascinating. She was looking at the connection between soul and beast, and specifically what it is exactly that stops the soul from maintaining in a body. You see, there's this really strange peculiarity with a lot of resurrection as we use it. Forgive me, Bing Bing, darling, I know you've heard this 1,000 times over, but...
Of course, go ahead.
You see, when we pull a soul back into a body, it's usually not permanent. The body sort of rejects it, I suppose, and it falls apart. The soul returns. It's rather hard to make a spirit stay on this plane. Saoirse was interested in what she could do about keeping a soul tethered to a body as opposed to a place or an object. And it appears, she opens the book and leafs through the pages, it appears somebody shares her interests.
No, don't is not a good no. What? What do you mean
Bing Bing kind of looks over.
You mentioned diablerie.
Yeah.
Possible diablerie.
What makes you think it was diablerie?
All of Cersei's blood is gone. Every last drop. Deep enough to chip the bone. And Cersei was no picnic.
She's also
herself.
decomposing quite fast.
Yes.
GT, please.
Well, then I suppose we can at least rule out that whoever it was after her body, which unfortunately leaves her with they were after her blood and or soul. You understand how our curses are carried in our blood, correct?
Yes. Well,
right.
I do.
So,
forgive me, can you please explain it, Dee, if you don't mind?
Of course. You see, our blood carries unique curse, unique power, and our old coterie, she looks over towards Romy, was unique in one sense, and that was that every single member could use blood sorcery. Blood sorcery is carried in the blood. And, well, if Saoirse's blood has been drained, that does raise the question, if they wanted her rituals and her powers, what it is they intend to achieve with those things.
And
she's-
resurrection rituals.
Can we just go through the does this mean that somebody could have taken, like, I'm vaguely familiar with Diablerie, okay? Not like that, Romy, before you get any ideas. But does this mean that somebody could have gained Saoirse's powers from absorbing the soul and stuff?
Yes.
And her powers are, I mean, I know she's in charge of the magic.
They could do it
here,
to
right?
any of us.
Yes. Saoirse was exceptionally well respected within the Tremere Chantry. She had access to a lot of magics that aren't common, shall we say. What exactly was in that package?
Bing rustles in her purse again. In her clutch. Pulls out the purple vial. I've never seen it before, Dee. Have you?
And I think Chuck here has the other thing.
Yeah, I hold on.
There's
Yeah,
some silver
no,
powder.
Okay, no, that's Coke. No, that's MDMA. Hold on, I got it here somewhere. No.
You're a veritable pharmacy, CT.
Right in front of Romy, the sheriff. CT, please.
What?
Nothing Romy hasn't seen before.
We've all got our vices. Hold on a minute. Right. Here we go. There we go.
Some more than others.
This stuff you wouldn't snort.
Demeter reaches to take the vial from you, CT, and holding it up delicately between a finger and thumb, she begins to turn it and examine it in the light of the lamp that's next to her. She frowns, and after a small amount of time, she brings it a little closer and pulls the top off the vial.
Whoa!
That is odd. You see how it's almost viscous?
Yeah.
Huh. And she brings the vial under her nose, and closing her eyes and concentrating, she breathes in the smell of this powder. She delicately places the top back on, and very, very gently lays the vial on the table next to her.
This was in your package, Dee.
Did you not
Saoirse's
know
package,
this was?
dear.
I suppose,
And
yes.
I have one piece of advice. If you throw these, throw them far and at somebody you don't like. Romy, I have one small concern about the contents of these vials. Romy quirks a brow and tilts her head and waits for an answer, tapping her fingers of the right hand on the edge of the desk impatiently. It's been a little while since I smelled gangrel blood. Romy's eyebrows shoot up.
You smelled what?
In the vials?
Bing Bing takes the vial back and puts it back in her clutch.
Oh no, if I
It
want this
appears, Romy eases herself off the desk, that our Tremere friends are not quite done with their experimenting with gangrel blood as we had thought.
No. This isn't no. They had so much trouble with that before.
CT, I think we had better get to the office quickly, and I think I'd better make sure that we can do so quietly, don't you? If you'll excuse me, I'm going to go ahead and make some arrangements. You have an hour before I need you to meet me at Saoirse's office. Em, you've been there often enough to lead the way, I'm sure. And if there's nothing further, I will meet you there. Romy is already halfway across the door as she's saying all of this.
GM, I guess you were right.
Tremere.
Guess it is explosive.
Dastardly.
Okay.
Don't let the vial break on your person, Finn.
To catch you up, young
That's
bloods.
what the bubble wrap is for.
To catch you up, young bloods, as you're new in the city. there is a clan called Tremere that basically they were a whole load of mages who wanted immortality, became vampires, and that's where like part of the blood sorcery thing comes from. They can do magic with blood, blah blah blah. Long story short, the thing about the gangrel blood is the fact that at one point in history they were experimenting with gangrels in order to make gargoyles. I'm literally talking big stone creatures that protect it, like the gargoyles you see on the, but like actual living. It was a big thing. It ended horribly.
Gangrels, if you've ever met one, are Neanderthals. Primitive. They're primitive vampires.
They're living stone.
No.
Yes,
So gangrel are a lot more in touch with like a bestial side of the beast. Generally speaking, they're stereotypically you might see a lot of them that are into nature and things like that. They sometimes get mistaken for werewolves and stuff like that. You know, they're that kind of vampire. But yeah, they, because of some of the things that they can do in regards to like having fortitude, making themselves real tough, and their protein, being able to change their bodies in the way they were. The Tremere, they did experiments and stuff, and that's how gargoyles came around. It ended horribly. All of the gargoyles are pretty much extinct now, or at least in hiding.
Thank goodness.
I mean, it's not their fault. They didn't ask to be made.
No, but they also shouldn't be left to suffer.
What potentially would happen if we did throw this at someone we didn't like?
I mean, I don't know. Like,
turn them into gargoyles?
I don't know what
it's difficult to tell without understanding exactly what it is Saoirse was doing with these components. It's not the only thing I can smell in that vial. I don't recognize the other things, and I'm not sure what rituals she's used to make whatever's in there, or her friend, I presume. So we're flying a little blind until we can investigate that further.
Hold on. Are we saying that our Saoirse was experimenting for gargoyles?
I don't think she'd be that reckless. She was there when it happened the first time. She was part of advocating for the fact that they should all be destroyed. So no, I don't think she would have. But I don't know.
She was part of
she must have known what was in the package. So I mean,
according to the note, it does seem like she does.
Yeah.
Did rather.
So
do you recognize
who sent it?
You right.
Demeter takes the note to have a look at it and frowns for a small amount of time before shaking her head.
Right. Okay. Well, we've got an hour. We've got to go meet Romy in the office. I'm gonna go back to the professor's office. I've got no idea what you people want to be doing, but I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I mean, where did Romy say for us to meet? My mind was too busy
at
being
Cersei's
blown.
office.
Do we have time? I feel like my apartment is not very close to here. I might get caught out. Not home.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. It is close to dawn, but this is obviously important enough. What are we at? 3 hours to dawn? Will be an hour, 2 hours to dawn. We could be all right. Worst case scenario, you can sleep in the van with me.
I must prepare the mortuary for Cersei. Bing Bing gets up.
Yeah. I guess I'll go meet Romy. Because Romy's gone now, right?
She has gone, yes, and she said that she needs a head start to go and make the appropriate arrangements for getting into Saoirse's office. So you have a little bit of time to yourselves before you need to meet her there. Obviously, the pressing things on some of your minds is going to be feeding, I imagine.
There is a 24-hour cafe at the university, so I am going to go there because I'm familiar with a few of the patrons there, so I will see everyone in an hour, I guess.
That sounds good. I'm gonna go hit up some of the old bars.
All right.
I think Eddie's is still open at this time. Head there.
Okay.
And leaves? We're leaving at this point?
Okay. So M is headed back to try and get something to eat. CT is also going to find some food. Bing Bing is preparing the mortuary and trying to help prepare Saoirse's body. And Finn, what are you doing?
I actually want to talk to Dee a little longer.
Okay. We'll let Bing Bing go ahead. Yeah. Dee seems to just be sort of clattering and clearing away the tea set as the others start to leave the room. And as
my hunger is at what right now? Is that just at 1, right? Hasn't really gone up at all. I haven't tried to heal yet, so.
It should be tracked on your sheet.
I haven't gone up at all.
You were at hunger 3 marked on there.
Was I?
Yeah, hunger 3. So you're quite hungry. You've got time for a little conversation and then to go and eat though, so we can handle that.
Copy that.
Dee sort of piles the cups and saucers, but she curiously pours the contents of the cup back into the flask. And then placing it on the side, she turns and smiles.
I'm assuming that's just something you do. Right, so everybody's gone, but I am confused at one thing. You and Saoirse, she didn't tell you any of this? You seemed like you guys were quite close, pardon my assumptions.
No, you'd be right. We were very close. Saoirse and I worked together for a number of years along with the professor, and I've been helping her with a lot of ritual research for, well, decades, I think, at this point. She told me that she was working on some new rituals to do with how she might be able to work a tethered soul into a ward. But to be honest with you, a lot of our discussions around her work were more passing conversational than in too much detail. She was most concerned recently with that argument she mentioned at the cemetery about sort of an ethics dilemma that one of her own clan had presented to her. Why do you ask?
I wonder if this was her plan all along, to maybe put the souls into the gargoyles. Something that is living, but is an object, but with the souls of the dead. I'm just spitballing, but that just kind of came across my head. And is that possible?
I understand your concern. The difficulty is, I'm not quite sure how they made gargoyles happen. There's some confusion about whether they were made or warped. That is, I'm not sure if they constructed them from scratch or distorted the existing kindred into something new. So I'm not certain if you'd need souls to make them. It's not really my kind of magic. It's always made me feel rather uncomfortable.
No. Okay.
But if it helps set your mind at ease at all, I can reassure you that Saoirse only ever spoke to me about wards and protections. She never spoke to me about anything like that.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to still talk to me. I know my bloodline isn't necessarily of the highest, but...
Finn, I think you know just as well that I'm not going to judge you on that front. I understand that your clan has fallen from grace in recent years, but my clan started without it. So I understand how it is to try and find your way in this society, Finn, and earning your place can be a thankless task. Your efforts aren't going unnoticed, And even if the Cam don't accept you fully, my church and my family always will. Okay?
Yeah. You feel safe? Me leaving? I know, with Saoirse and everything.
Oh, yes, no, don't worry. I can watch my back quite well, myself and Dimitri.
Right, you've got... And I waved to the wrong part of the window again. You've got Dimitri. I'm assuming he's... All right. I'm gonna go meet them all. And I go close the door slowly and kind of awkwardly fumble.
Okay.
Trying not to make it super known that was exactly what he needed, but I'm good. I don't need that.
Okay. Where is Finn going next? He needs to feed and mend, did you say?
Yes. So I think he'll hop the on the bike and start to see if he can heal up a little bit of his wounds. What do I need to roll for that again?
Okay. So you will mend according to your blood potency.
And that's
on the second page of your sheet.
Yeah.
I think Finn's blood potency is at 1, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So for every rouse check, you can mend a single superficial damage.
Yeah.
So that's just a single dice roll.
All right, let's see. Oh, I do.
Success. So you can mend 1 point and you don't get any hungrier, and you can do the same thing again if you wish.
I will try again before I go and hunt.
Failure. Which puts you at hunger 4, doesn't it?
Hunger 4, indeed.
Okay. Are you on hunger 4 or am I misreading?
I thought I hadn't gone up at all because I don't think I roused or anything like that, but...
Okay. Well, stick at hunger 1. Stick at hunger 1.
Okay.
Sorry, no, it would have been hunger 1.
Now.
You're up to hunger 2. Yeah, that's it.
Right.
Keep it at hunger 2. So as this sort of... that mending is a process that you have to think about, and as the wounds begin to close, you do feel that little niggle of hunger in the back of your mind. Does Finn look to eat on his way to Saoirse's office?
Yeah, I think he'll go, instead of driving through the highways and stuff, he'll go down the alleys and kind of see if there's anyone he could just take a little nibble on.
Just a little nibble, okay. Give me your wits and streetwise, please.
Copy. I believe that's a 4. And the streetwise is 1. Yes. 4 at 2.
Perfect. You manage fine. What kind of person does Finn look for?
To be honest, right now, it's just anyone who's kind of alone and maybe coming home from a night at the bar and just gonna take a tiny little bit.
Wrong place, wrong time. You can take that hunger, or 1 hunger down off your sheet, and you'll stay down at 1 hunger. Okay, perfect. Let's check in with Bing Bing, who is still in the mortuary. Bing Bing, you are headed down to the mortuary to try and prepare Saoirse's body, correct? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Are you, at this point, you're trying to just sort of give her a respectful burial, is that right? So whatever you can to sort of obscure any still available wounds, to give her fresh clothes, that sort of thing? Absolutely.
She's rotting, so her clothes will probably have some sort of layer in them, some sort of absorbency to them.
Yeah, okay. We're going to go for a bit of a peculiar pool here, but I want to just see how good a job Bing Bing manages to do here.
Okay.
Could you give me your composure and etiquette? Obviously, Saoirse, not being of your church and clan, has some slightly different, maybe, beliefs to yours, and I'd like to see how familiar Bing Bing is with what Saoirse needs. Yeah. Enough. Enough that you know that the type of burial you can give her is respectful enough that she'd be thankful. It's a little bit of a job, to sort of remove the tangled clothing from around a very brittle skeleton. But you managed to do a good job. You think you've done it justice. Does Bing Bing need to do anything else, or will she be headed towards Saoirse's office next?
Bing Bing's probably cleaning up, cleaning her tools, putting everything away, and then gently folding Saoirse's body and putting it in one of the mortuary, what are they? The morgue slidey
the slabs,
shelves?
yeah.
Putting the body in the slabs, labeling it as a Jane Doe so that she doesn't get disturbed by other morticians.
Perfect. Okay. And at that point, headed towards Saoirse's office.
And then she'll probably head to Saoirse's office from there.
Okay.
Only business.
Okay, perfect. In that case, let's send you on your way, Bing Bing, and we'll check in with Emily. Emily, who is headed towards even the university, looking for someone to eat.
Yes, there's a 24-hour cafe, and it is frequented by someone who knows me and someone who would like to see me. So I go towards the cafe. Yes, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was going to say, give me your charisma subterfuge whenever you're ready.
Sure.
Oof, he doesn't stand a chance. Tell us about it.
Oh no. I walk into the cafe and Jacob's sitting usually where he's sitting. He's at his usual spot. His eyes light up when he sees me, and I walk towards him, and I'm just eye contact the whole time. And I approach him, and he puts down his coffee, and I reach in for a long hug. A long, comfortable hug, and he's used to these. He knows I love embracing him, and that's when I sneak a feed. And of course, he's too focused on how beautiful my hair is, how amazing my lips look, and he doesn't even notice that I've done what I've already came there to do.
Perfect.
I let him go, and I sit down, but I say I can only stay just a few minutes. Jake, I have to go, but I wanted to see you. How are you doing?
He sort of stares at you kind of wide-eyed, like he just can't believe his luck in having met with you this evening. And sighing, planting his chin on his fist on the table, he just nods sort of fawningly and says, "I'm always so much better when I get to see you."
Oh my God, you're so cute. Okay, well, don't let me disturb you. I'll see you again sometime.
Know where I am.
And then I quickly just get up and I leave, kind of wiping my mouth as I do so.
Perfect. His blood is sweet.
Oh, yes.
It's a sort of light taste. It's not as heavy and heady as it has been before, but it's enough to feel good. You'd like to...
I can tell he's been eating a lot of fruit or something.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I choose him.
That's it, exactly.
Yeah.
If you want to make a note that you have the fleeting sanguine resonance, it provides no bonus, but it does allow you to increase some power if you have the experience to do so.
Fleeting sanguine resonance?
Yes.
Okay.
And then we'll check in on CT. CT, you have somewhere important to go tonight that you haven't been for a little while. Tell us about it.
I think as as I'm leaving the building and things are a bit frantic, and I'm just like, right, I need to just calm. I need to calm. I just need to. I know who always makes me calm. I know who always makes me calm. Oh, right. Dump in Betsy and check underneath the seat to make sure the special package that I always prepare is there. And then I drive to the hospital.
Okay. The way is unobstructed, and you find yourself to your usual favorite parking spot in a small sheltered area, close enough to the building that you can see the van. From the window, you know you'll be able to look out of. Close enough that you can see exactly the person you're hoping. You see a young, skinny, dark-skinned man with stubble across his top lip, standing by one of the side doors. He notes your van sliding into the spot, puts his hands into his pockets, and walks towards you.
I'll get the package out from under my chair. All right.
CT, been a while, mate. How you been?
Busy at the moment, buddy. It's a bit busy at the moment. Just, trying to get on with life, you know? How's she doing?
No better, no worse. She's not woken up, if that's what you're asking, but she's stable.
Always what I'm asking, man. Come on. Well, at least it's not any worse, I suppose. Look, I got some more. Just take this. I mean, you know the routine by now. You know the routine.
Yeah, you know she doesn't need this, right, mate?
Look, mate, like, I need to do something. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I'd do the same thing.
I need to do something.
I'll make sure it gets to her.
Cheers, dude. Like, just... But I know that I can't, like, come in and see her and stuff, but... You just, like... It sounds stupid. It's alright. Don't mind. Right. Cool.
Oh, what do you want me to do?
Will you just give a hand a squeeze for me?
Yeah. Yeah, of course I will. I'll tell her you came by.
Yes, dude. I gotta go and do some stuff. But I'll see you in a week or so, and we'll do the usual trade. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll see you in a week. If you ever change your mind about how I can get hold of you, you let me know, because you don't have to come by like this. You know that, right? I could just call you.
Yeah, but I'm not big on the old mobile phones and stuff. I mean, I live in a van. Come on, you know. Yeah, we'll just keep this arrangement going, right? Just nice and simple.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I've got 5 minutes left of my break, so if I'm going to get this into her and give her a hand a squeeze for you, I better go.
Yeah. You go. We'll catch up some other time. Yeah.
Yeah, look after yourself, mate. And he, package in hand, turns and walks back towards the hospital.
I hesitate for a moment. I look up exactly where her room is. God, I wish I could still drink whiskey. Well, right, I need a drink anyway, so let's get this shit sorted, right? That'll Betsy. Head over towards the one of the nightclubs.
Okay.
Eddie's.
Okay. CT, you know your way around the local scenes quite well, don't you? And that's how you rely on your feeds, is that correct?
It is indeed. I provide them with drugs and good time and snom.
That being the technical term. Got it.
Technical term.
Great. Okay. Could you please give me your... Let's go with... It will be your manipulation. And... It'll either be manipulation and fame, or I need your manipulation and...
Streetwise?
Persuasion streetwise. You can go manipulation streetwise. Give me manipulation streetwise, because you're specifically using drugs in this transaction, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's your lure.
I also have a speciality in the rock scene in streetwise.
Okay.
Rock and roll
yeah,
scene.
That's perfect. Yeah, give me manipulation streetwise and your extra dot in rock.
Yeah. Oh, completely forgot what I was then. Okay, cool. Ugh.
Maybe it's the stress of the evening piling on top of the stress of going to see your old connection. But something's throwing you off tonight, and you just can't seem to catch a conversation. As you're looking across the crowd to try and find someone, maybe that you know, or at least that you might have seen before, you see nothing but a sea of new faces. And beyond that, you catch sight of the clock and realize you're running out of time.
Ah, fuck this. Right. I'm gonna grab a crate of beer and walk out. Jump.
Okay.
Put the crate of beer in Betsy and drive on to meet everyone.
Okay. Everyone, after a little while, then manages to convene. Saoirse's office sits in the heart of Birmingham's canal network, in a small area called the Gas Street Basin. It was once named for the first gas lights in the city, but now glows with the familiar orange flicker of modern electricity. The building you are going into is just unassuming from the outside, just another tower of modern concrete set amongst red brick of listed buildings and walkways. But something about this building does feel different as you walk through the door. Maybe it's that little sense of dread in the pit of your stomach. Maybe it's knowing that one of your own kind has made haven here. Or maybe it's the familiar, daunting gaze of the sheriff. She stood over in the corner of the entranceway near a stairwell, and she beckons you all over. And after a short exchange, she explains that if you are going to have some time to investigate thoroughly, she's going to need to keep somebody busy. You don't have long, not least because of the sunset. Sunrise, even. She expects you to complete your investigations as quickly as possible. She urges you to meet her outside once you're completed, and guides you up towards the small room at the end of a corridor. First thing you notice when you walk into that small, cluttered room is a set of heavy drapes drawn closed across the frames of the windows. They're so thick, in fact, that only the slim beam of light from the hallway that you are coming down illuminates the space. The street lights have been entirely kept out until you switch the light on. The walls are lined with bookcases, some filled with as many trinkets as actual books, and a large, heavy desk is covered in paperwork. A medium-sized brown paper-wrapped rectangle is propped against the edge of the desk, and behind it, in a small illuminated display case, you see a series of wrought iron keys hanging on hooks. One of them is missing. I'm going to go around the table quickly to see what you're all interested in looking at first, just to make sure we don't miss anyone. CT, what catches your eye first?
I'm going to sense the unseen. My episode 2 party trick.
Okay, CT's going for sense the unseen. What I'll do, guys, is I'll take... Yeah, no, let's deal with this all one at a time. So we'll take that roll as well, and then we'll move to the next person. So if you'd like to give me that roll, please.
Yeah.
Three successes. It is a comfort after the evening you've had to see nobody stood in this room. No specters, no mists, no people, no Nosferatu lurking behind the curtains. Nothing. The room is delightfully empty. There are little glows left, right, and center from various wards and trinkets, but nothing seems alarming. M, what are you looking at first?
M will use heightened senses, touch, and the way that the drapes are kind of closed right now to let out just not let any light in makes sense. There's just I approach it and I want to feel who the last person was who touched these. Maybe it could give us a hint that maybe someone was in her office.
Okay. What I'd suggest then is you can use your heightened senses to see what you can tell about the way the curtains have been drawn. Absolutely. If you want to get a sense of who, maybe circumstances, we might be talking about premonition. Up to you which way you want to go. What would you rather use?
I'm wondering if because I have heightened senses, I can feel like different oils from fingers even on the drapes, and I would be able to identify that. So I think I want to use heightened senses.
Okay, it would be exceptionally difficult to get that much detail, but let's see how well she rolls. Why not?
Okay.
Give me your dexterity and insight, please.
Did I go down 2 hunger points or just 1?
You can only go to 0 hunger if you kill someone, so you'll have only gone down 1.
Thank you so much.
1 success. The curtain's drawn, and beyond that, it's difficult to tell. The easiest thing you can tell immediately is that these curtains were specifically constructed for keeping light out. Knowing obviously that Saoirse is one of your own kind, it makes perfect sense that she'd have curtains dense enough that they could keep sunlight out. It seems still to be quite a risk, but so far they seem to be quite effective. The other thing you can tell just from the situation, from looking, is that means she didn't draw the curtains when she rose this evening, which means it's not likely this is where she stays.
Okay.
Bing Bing, what are you doing?
Bing Bing walks over to the desk, sits in it, and starts opening drawers. Maybe she touches the desk, sees the package, places a hand on the package, but doesn't open it, and then pulls back and then continues searching through the drawers. Like she was thinking about opening it, but respectfully cannot.
Okay. Give me, please, if you are looking around the desk and seeing what you can see, I would like, please, your resolve an investigation. We can take, if you would like, actually. Bing Bing has very good instincts, doesn't she?
Yes.
So maybe we should actually be talking here about a resolve and awareness roll with your instincts bonus.
Yes. So, Bing Bing's searching, but she's kind of just sensating, like, what could be... If I were hiding secrets, where would they be?
Okay. 4 successes. A few things occur to you as you're sort of moving things around the desk and taking a look. Firstly, the most important marker of what somebody considers to be important is which drawers they lock. The top drawer of the desk is locked. The second thing you notice is that some of the paperwork on the desk is not in fact paperwork, but letters. Notably, there is one wax-sealed letter, stamped with a Celtic shield knot, addressed to Demeter. Secondly, and quite curiously, Saoirse has a laptop on her desk, buried underneath a few sheets of paper.
Can I see if the lock looks like it would be unlocked by one of the big iron keys?
Of course. The iron keys that are at the back of the desk seem too large, like they are real large wrought iron, kind of for old locks. And in fact, as you're looking, you see that the sort of plates underneath the keys are marked with dates. We'll come back to that. Finn, what are you interested in?
I'm going to the iron keys on the wall. Are they all similar? Do the teeth all look the same?
Okay. Give me your... Be an investigation roll most likely, but we might be able to get away with something different based on what his understanding is. Give me your intelligence and technology, please.
Yeah, investigation would have been rough.
Okay. 5 successes is very good. But a messy critical makes that interesting.
Yeah, what does that do?
Give me a single dice, please, and we'll see what it is exactly that the beast is whispering in your ear. Okay. Finn, you take a little time looking over these keys, and although it's a little out of your sort of technological remit, you're more of a computer guy by trade, right? But you do know the basics of how encryption started. And one of the things that's most obvious when you look at these keys is they all have exactly the same teeth arrangement. These keys, while they are all dated completely differently, are for the same lock. The first date is 1892. The second is 1915. The third, 1922. The fourth, 1946.
And the fourth is the one missing?
The first is the one that's missing.
The 18, what was it?
The 1892.
Okay.
But more than that, it occurs to you as you look at these keys that if the key is missing, a key must have been taken. And something in the back of your mind begins to panic. the beast screams in the back of your mind that you are not safe. Something has already killed one of the most powerful kindred in the city, and you've already been confronted by another, an Anak, who told you you had no place here and that they would reject you. What will happen? If Saoirse, a powerful woman left on her own for a small amount of time, can meet such a sticky end, what will happen to someone such as you? Finn, you're suffering a paranoia compulsion, which means you currently want nothing more than to find somewhere safe to hide. Any action not taken to maintain your safety is at a 2-dot penalty until you've managed to hide somewhere for an hour.
Okay.
How does that look to the rest of the group?
As I'm looking through the keys, eyes kind of go blank for a little bit, and then I step back, start to kind of look at the room and feel like everything's kind of closing in on me. Is Romy behind us, or is she?
Romy's not in the room.
Not with. Okay. I don't know.
Finn, you okay?
I gotta go.
Where are you going?
What?
I gotta go.
Alone?
Where are you going? You can't go anywhere alone.
You can
I start kind of walking out and just backing up away from the room, trying to escape a little bit.
You can't leave. It's more dangerous out there alone.
No. I'm gonna. I got some stuff I forgot I need to do back at the apartment.
I'm gonna.
I've got things to handle.
We need you here, Finn.
And just like sort of put my hands on his shoulders and just be like, Finn, cool, man. Cool, it's cool. We got this.
And I'm kind of looking through him versus actually looking at him. I'm looking through him like, yeah, no, I'm good. I forgot something at the apartment.
Your apartment is far away. You haven't been there all evening.
Yes, right.
We're all right. We're okay. We're all good.
Yeah.
Are you guys? Are you all trying to? Are you trying to talk Finn into calming? Because we can see if we can do a roll to try and resolve this and make him feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Finn, you should stay.
Bing B is not gonna do anything.
Okay. So
sorry.
M and CT, let's pull your resources here and see if we can help Finn out and calm him down. I need, please, your, let's call it a composure and persuasion check, please. And we'll check from each of you which the biggest pool is, and then we'll take that bonus dice. So, CT, what's your composure persuasion
is 4.
Okay, and M?
Composure is 2, persuasion is 4, so 6.
Okay, so M will roll, take a bonus dice from CT, so that's 7 dice.
7, 1 hunger. Okay.
7, 1 hunger. 3 successes. And Finn, I need you to roll against her.
Okay.
I need you to roll your composure and resolve, please. And you don't have to take a penalty here because this is about you trying to get out of the situation. So this.
Okay. Where is my resolve? All on the same attributes. Okay. All right.
What is it you say that makes Finn stay?
I put my hand on his back and I say, look, I know we've been through some difficult times, but I swear if we could maneuver on a bike, on a moving bike together and get me to the front and somehow you managed to, we need you. If we can get through something like that, we can get through this. I have my hand on his back. It's firm there. It's firm. I'm supporting him. Finn, it's going to be okay. Let's take some deep breaths. I think we're all a little afraid here.
I'm not afraid.
Okay, everyone except Bing Bing. We're all a little bit uncomfortable, I'm sure. I'm just trying to make him Bing Bing. Can you please listen? Okay, what do you say?
My eyes kind of sort of come back into focus.
Okay.
and whatever the room opens up a little bit more for me, and kind of you see a small moment of, yeah, I needed that, but he's like, no, I'm good. I was just I figured we could have used some more tools, but you're right. I don't need to go anywhere. I can. It's just I saw the keys and there's one missing. Right. But they're all for the same thing. I don't know why it's all dated differently.
Right. Finn, turn on this laptop for me. I don't know how to use it.
Thank you.
My extra dice of support there was them going, now we did this, and I'm going to go, yeah, and I saw it look real fancy. And that's it. That is my entire input.
Right. Okay, let's check back in and go back around for a second. So you've taken a look at the keys. You know that the curtains, dense and untouched, have been perfect for keeping sunlight out of this room. You know there are no spirits present, and although there might be a couple of sort of charmed trinkets, there's nothing particularly offensive in this room. And you also know that the top drawer of this desk is locked, and that the key you need to open it is not on the rack of keys at the back of the room. CT, what are you concerned about next?
I'm gonna go and have a look at the lock that they can't have a look how do things with.
The desk lock?
The desk lock, yeah.
Okay.
And I think I'm gonna try and pick it.
You're gonna try and pick it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and pick it.
Give me your dexterity and larceny, please.
Not great, but okay. Ooh. Hey.
What did you try and pick the lock with?
I think I've got I have a toothpick and
okay.
like a little. Do you know what it is? I got a toothpick and I've got like a funnel for clearing out any pot pipes I've got or little tubes for snorting stuff. Just
okay.
Just like a
As
little...
you sort of get that toothpick in there and sort of try to jiggle, you hear the rather depressing sound of splintering wood. It bends and begins to snap, and it does not work.
Can I
Can
need to...
Bing Bing just pull the drawer open with her strength?
Let's see when we get there.
I was just about to say whether I could do we'll get frustrated at that and then that could be our next action, but we'll do the rounds.
Yeah, we'll have a look. So M, what are you curious about next in this room?
What am I curious about next? Why the keys are dated? They're all the same key, but they're
very slightly different in their construction. So some of them are a little larger. The metal is definitely aged according to the dates next to them, if that makes sense. There's a couple of, they're well kept, but you can, when iron gets old and it sort of does that tarnishing black color, it's that kind of.
I do have a point in craft and design, a bonus in there. I'm wondering if I can notice anything about them that hasn't already been noticed.
Yeah, I mean, you could certainly take a look.
Okay.
That would be your intelligence and craft.
Okay.
Two successes. You understand the basics of what you're looking at. It's clear that for whatever reason, Saoirse has been keeping the keys from somewhere as the locks have been updated over the years. Beyond that, you don't notice anything particularly striking, save for the fact that each of the keys is stamped with a very small crown, sort of right at the top of the key.
Okay.
Bing Bing, what are you looking at next?
Bing Bing's like, Finn, turn on this laptop. I don't know how they work. Honestly, I don't know why Saoirse has one. She also couldn't use technology. Laughable, really. You should have seen her use a mobile phone. And then Bing Bing's gonna just reach to the drawer and try to yank it out with brute force.
Okay. Give me your strength and let's have a look at your sheet, see if we can...
Can I do like a strength and dexterity roll?
I think we're looking at a strength and brawl here.
Okay, I'm down with that too.
Okay. 4 successes. The drawer comes loose, clattering with splintering wood.
Bing Bing just kind of delicately drops the handle. I opened it, CT.
Yes, Your Majesty, you're so almighty powerful. Fucking hell.
We're vampires.
I'm never gonna hit the end
CT,
of this.
did you even
What
try?
does wood
Did
have
you-
against us?
Within
was
the drawer,
trying to be subtle.
within the drawer, you see 2 things. Firstly, a letter, and secondly, a post-it note. Post-it note is sat on top of everything else, and it reads as shown.
What's it? Hold on, let's have a look. So
says-
S, no, you're not that great with this stuff. Secure password should contain 1, a memorable person. 2, a memorable place, in caps, please. 3, a memorable number. If you fail the password 3 times, the computer will lock, so be careful. We got a password. We got a password, friends.
Cersei had notes for a password. Memorable place? Memorable person?
Well, I'm guessing the memorable numbers are the dates on these things, you know what I mean?
Maybe from the key that's missing?
Would
The
make
second
sense.
thing in the drawer is the letter, and it seems to be notes. Saoirse has a ream of paper notes in this drawer, all relating to ritual and warding. And this one in particular stands out to you. The bit that stands out most is the reference to symbols. She says, you can see traces of this distraction principle in plenty of old magics. Celtic protection symbols are not just symbolically effective because their endless appearance represents unending love and life, but also confusion and disorientation. They build a knot for spirits to get lost in, not unlike the labyrinths that our dear professor so admired for containing the Minotaur. Of course, sometimes direct warding is just as useful. As soon as my sire taught me to protect my missives, he started frequently injuring his fingers, and shortly thereafter stopped knowing my business.
Cersei was always very good at warding. Shame, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
Finn.
is why I'm so concerned that there's no wards in this room.
Finn, what are you looking at next?
Well, he was looking over at the keys, and then hearing Bing Bing say that laptop. Yeah, I can take a look at it. Man, it's hot in here. Takes off the jacket, goes down, sits down. Okay, let's take a look at all this paperwork that she's left us, and because it's password protected, that's why you can't get in. But 3 times. A memorable person. Who would she
Who was her
find as
sire?
memorable? Saoirse?
A
I
sire.
don't know her, sire.
Do we know her sire?
Was it D?
No.
D?
Maybe. And a memorable place?
I'm guessing.
I don't know
where
anything
these
about
keys
Saoirse.
fit.
Or where
Do you want to
she
try?
came from.
Where's she from?
Should we look at the
Does any of us
note
know?
again that came on the package, maybe? There's
About
a
the war.
clue there or something?
Something warding. She liked Ireland. And she did all the Celtic-y stuff. Oh no, that
I
was
think
the Greek
Ireland is her place.
stuff. I don't know. I'm just thinking about these Celtic stuff.
As you're looking around the room, the photograph on the bookshelf catches your eye, and you recognize a face you've not seen in a little while. As you approach the photograph, you see all 4 members of the old coterie. You see Romy, Demeter, Saoirse, and the professor stood together. They stood together on the grounds of the University of Birmingham. Saoirse is cradling a book to her chest and smiling at the professor.
What book? Can we see?
Do we all see these photos, or is it just?
It's caught CT's eye, but of course if he mentions it, there's no reason you all couldn't look.
Hey, look at this! I found the old coterie. Look at them all. You got the professor there. You got Saoirse. You got D. You got that book. That looks familiar. Is this the same book that you picked up, Bing Bing?
This book?
It's not from what you can see, but there is something distinctive. The book has a bright red ribbon poking out of the bottom side of it. It's a thick ribbon.
Do we recognize that book anywhere in
Is
the
that
room?
in this room? Yeah.
Give me your... And you can do this as a collective search if you like. We can take one giant pool if you're all looking for this book. I'll need, please, your resolve and investigation. So I'll quickly check if you guys would like to do this as a pooled roll. We'll check what each of your pools are, and then we'll take the largest.
I'm only at a 3.
Okay,
What was
CT,
it?
what's your resolve and investigation, please?
Resolve in...
2.
Mine's also only 3.
Okay. What's your resolve and investigation?
Together, 4.
4. So it looks like M is the lady for the job. Who has dots in investigation?
I have dots
CT
in
does.
investigation.
Okay, so you'll only be able to take 1 bonus dice because CT is the only other person who has anything in investigation.
Okay. Am
But
I
yes,
rolling?
go ahead and make me that roll.
Me? Okay.
With the bonus
so
dice.
So it's 5, because I'm taking 1 from CT.
Correct. 1 success. I'm going to offer you a success at cost.
Okay.
What that means is you will find what you're looking for, but it will be with an unexpected complication.
Okay.
It will be unspecified at this time, but it will become apparent rather quickly. Would you like to take a success at cost?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
It doesn't take you too long to note that the picture the shelf is on is full of books on Greek mythology. A little to the right of the picture is the book you're looking for.
Okay.
The book is titled Theseus's Labours, and a red ribbon pokes from the bottom pages. And when you open the book, you see that it is marked on a passage concerning how Theseus escaped the labyrinth. It explains how, with the help of a red thread, you can pull yourself free of any labyrinth you find yourself in. And as you're engaged in those pages, looking over that passage, you hear the loud clatter of a metallic key hitting the floorboards.
Did anyone else hear that?
Is that
Did anyone?
the last key? Or
Did
the
that
first
fall
key?
out of the book?
It has fallen from behind the book onto the floor in front of M's feet.
That's the last key.
Is it the same one? Does it have the crown imprint on it?
It doesn't. It's smaller, more delicate than the other keys, and maybe with some small sinking feeling, you realize that perhaps this key would have opened the desk drawer that's currently sitting in pieces on Bing Bing's lap.
I think I found the desk drawer key, everyone. Guess we don't really need it anymore, but
Nope.
there you
One
go.
other thing has fallen with it. The picture on the shelf has tumbled. And now it is laid face down on the floor. You see writing on the back. 4 names. Romy, Dee, Saoirse, and Gus.
Gus. That must be the professor's name.
Don't call him
Did
Gus.
you know that, Chuck? No?
Well, I'm not called Chuck, so how would I know who Gus is?
Don't call him Gus.
Is that the professor's name? Do we know that? CT?
I don't know. He's always just been the professor, you know?
Okay.
Well, now we've got a memorable person, the place, the labyrinth, and the number 1892. Maybe that's when they met, when the coterie was formed.
Brian.
Give it a go.
All right.
All caps for the place.
Right. Memorable person, Gus.
Okay.
Memorable place, labyrinth in all caps. And number 1892. Ready? First try. Boom.
You tap enter, and a small chime as it logs in.
First try.
Yes.
Very nice, Finn.
Let's go.
You're very good
Let's
with
go.
electric thing.
Oh.
Electric ones. You know,
The
I did that
computer,
back in the
the
day.
computer opens on an internet browser. And Finn, as you sort of type in this password, you've had to move aside some paperwork to get to the keyboard. And looking down, you see a match. The printouts on the desk are printouts from the website that's still open. It's a blog. The posts that have printed look fairly innocuous, but there are a few that somebody, presumably Saoirse, has highlighted. One of them reads Tattooist. The blog says, I love Birmingham's art scene. Mercury's brand isn't listed anywhere online for some reason. He was working on this really cool dragon design when I went in. He was weaving all sorts of sigils and stuff into its scales. I almost got lost in the lines just looking at it until he told me to mind where I was looking. I love people's determination to get tattoos. Pushing that creative boat as far as possible. It can look a bit culty, and the effect of this one was creepy, but isn't that part of the charm? And the second post sticks out to you. Maybe your paranoia is heightening things, but it's titled Fights. And it says, I was urbexing when I heard it. This guy almost pushed someone's head through the wall. No joke. It was just a flash of metal trouser chains, a shock of washed out neon hair, and then this sickening crunch of impact. I swear I felt it in my shoe soles as I watched from this decaying stairwell. Above all, I think I'm surprised the tunnel didn't come crashing down. I guess it's Brummy Infrastructure 1, drunk tunnel weirdos 0.
Is that about you, Finn? You have hair like that.
But
Do you remember smashing a face through a tunnel?
Do I?
Probably many.
It was that one time. He didn't end up being very good. You lost your temper.
That did happen. I mean,
Can I have a quick?
People get on my nerves.
Look
Okay.
at this. Can I have a quick look at this? Hold on. What was it? A blog? You call it a blog? Weird things.
Do you know how to use this machine?
Yes.
CT?
There's computers in the library. Every so often I do the online thing.
Yeah.
Do I recognize
Check your
the blog?
location. Twitter tweet.
Yeah, something like that. MySpace or something. I don't know.
It's
kind of looks like a Zanga.
while you guys are discussing and trawling through this blog, something's caught your eye.
Mm-hmm.
A package leant against the desk.
Oh yes, the brown one.
It has a small delivery note pasted to the corner
Okay.
for that little art gallery on the corner, round the corner from you.
There's a package here.
Huh?
Did you see this thing when we walked in? There's an address. I know this gallery.
Yes,
is the
but it's
gallery.
not my package.
This is
Wait, is this?
this is a gallery that I know. It's near my place. Maybe
note
this
that-
has to do with the note that came
Yeah,
on the first
right.
package. I mean, yes. Maybe this is the painting.
Art?
The
Give it a look. Open it up.
You
shit.
want to look?
Yes.
Okay.
You just- What if it's like a cursed painting? What if it's like Dorian Gray's painting?
What if
I
it's
don't
a
imagine
newspaper?
we can get any more cursed than we currently are. Pulls
Is
up,
it-
Can
Saoirse was
always be
looking into
more
me?
cursed, M.
no doubt. Pulls up a chair and begins to tear open the brown wrapping. It falls to the ground, and it reveals a painting.
It reveals a whirl of colours. 2 parallel yellow stripes run from the bottom edge at the right towards the top, and the splintered glass of a wing mirror sends rainbow hues from a setting sun dancing across tarmac in a New York street. 7 dark birds can be seen flying in a loose formation in the reflected skyline, and a small pool of blood threatens to spread across the image. The painting is titled Objects in the Rearview Mirror and has been signed by the artist, Ava Bolden.
Shit, that's as good as one of my trips.
Bing Bing stands up to
You
look
know
at
who
it.
the?
Not her usual taste.
I'm taken aback by the fact that I know this name. I know this person.
What?
Artist?
I know this person. I know Ava Bolden. Yes, she's. We were friends back before, you know.
Before you came
Right.
to Brum.
Yeah,
Good
and
friends.
before yes, we were very good friends. I see that
Very good friends.
Yes.
Do you know this painting?
Bing Bing, don't make
I-
it sound creepy.
I'm not creepy.
Thank you, CT. No, not in the slightest, Bing Bing. I see that this is not something that, from what I remember, Ave doesn't. This looks a bit unusual. This isn't the style that I remember.
Give me your resolve and craft. And in the meantime, let's check back in with the 3 of you who are still looking through this blog at this point.
How does she? What is this blog? And I'm trying to like look through. Can I go and see where the IP of the poster is from?
Yeah, you can. Give me, that will be your, it'll be a technology roll. It could be an intelligence roll. It could be, give me your intelligence, please. Intelligence and technology. Before you put that in though, I can see Em has made her roll, so let's address that so it doesn't get lost in the feed. This is really not Ava's style,
No.
but the scene is familiar. You have memories, certainly, of crushed glass on tarmac in a New York street. Fleeting though they may be and scattered, you feel something looking at this painting that perhaps you've been trying to forget for a while. It seems to you that maybe Ava knows something too.
Can I explain the painting to everyone?
Please.
Everyone, this is a painting from the night I died, I guess.
Huh?
It's a bit fuzzy, but I got into a car accident and I was leaving an art gallery and was it raining? I don't even remember. I guess my friend Ava
Captured it.
painted
How
the
charming.
scene.
Was she there when it
Very
happened?
touching work.
I mean, I imagine there were pictures of the accident, but
Why would this be the topic of what they wanted to talk about?
Wow,
Well,
am I in the
just-
middle of this? What is going on?
Hold
What?
on,
How did this? Sorry,
Are you okay?
Yeah.
You sure? Because this is pretty heavy shit, and like, I just want to check in on your chakras and whatnot. You know, are you all right?
Thank you. Yes, my chakra is. It's
It is a
it's
lovely
very,
painting, though.
It's. Emma's just absolutely shocked. She's because that whole night was just kind of fuzzy to her.
Yeah.
And how she got into an accident, she left in just such a rage from this art gallery, and something had happened there that night, and so it's very hard to look at, but she composes herself. She's M. She's fine. She pulls out a mirror. I'm fine. Please, everyone, it's fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Thank you, though.
You said fine 5 times in a row.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that
Bing,
mean
bing.
you're fine or finer? Finest?
Bing bing, you're as subtle as a brick. I tell you what, why don't we take the
Bricks aren't
picture with
subtle.
us? That's the point. Let's take the painting with us, and we can analyze this. You powder your nose, I'll powder mine, and we'll.
Don't powder your nose, CT.
Finn, while they're sort of having this little back and forth conversation, you've been reading the posts on the blog. The blog started about a year and a month ago. And in the first post, the blogger explains that they've been having some trouble sleeping. And they thought they might as well record the sightings that they have on the walks they take while insomnia keeps them out of bed. A lot of the posts you scroll through seem pretty inconsequential. And they even caused you to wonder for a moment why Saoirse was keeping an eye on them at all. For example, on one post, the author comments, "Did you know swans can break your arm? With ease. Did you also know that they kind of look like a sea monster if they've been fed enough takeaway and spite to grow unreasonably big? I now know both of these things. Ow." In another, "Life is full of firsts. First breath.
Or a goose.
First kiss. First time rugby tackling a cardboard cutout of Jet Li because you think it's an apparition or an intruder. Ow." But you notice as the posts go on, he seems to be striking closer and closer to the underbelly of the city. Obviously, the post about the fight, it was unnerving. Post about the tattooist, a little alarming. It seems he started studying at the university a few years ago. His insomnia and curiosity has led him to investigate areas of the city that nobody would want to have prying eyes. He talks about tunnels running under the city, abandoned buildings that he's broken his way into in the daytime. And as you process those words, another post pings live at the top of the screen.
Scroll up to go look at it.
There is a small, grainy picture of the university hallway. And underneath it, accompanying text. The stranger adopts a friendly demeanor when he greets her. Her back is to me, but her shoulders relax when she reaches out to shake his hand. He pulls his hand away, his head tilting back ever so slightly as he laughs at something she says, and the flash of his teeth catch the green glow of his eyes. With a carefree gesture, he opens the door a bit further. I can see the gymnasium inside, a cavernous hall with the equipment pulled up against the walls. She goes in, but he pauses in the doorway. I duck out of sight just in time, but he turns on his heel elegantly. He goes on to describe waiting in the hallway for some time, until eventually the door swings back open and the man leaves. What sticks out to him, beyond everything else, is bright, glowing eyes in the darkness. The post details that this person is certain that this is something other, something that he's been looking for some time, and says that he's going to follow.
Guys?
What?
Take a look at this. Somebody was there before we got there.
What?
Where?
Who?
At the school.
What?
With Saoirse. They have a photo. You can't see it, it's very blurry, but they have a photo of who was
The
there with
blogger who's
Saoirse.
stalking you?
Has found him or herself in this position where they...
Hold on.
I don't know, but
who's
they're
the blogger?
alive
Who is
because
the
it
blogger?
just pinged.
A human?
Who is the blogger?
I'm still looking. I
Mortal?
failed to track, and we need to... Let me see if I can find their current ping
Is it
right now,
signed?
because this just
What's
went live.
What's the editor's name?
There's a video at the bottom of the blog.
Let's play the video.
It's grainy and dark. And you see a street name that CT you recognize as being from part of an area in East Birmingham called Bordersley Green. It's renowned for abandoned houses, those that the unsavory like to occupy. Far enough from the main roads to be inconspicuous. You hear the panting of the author. And the frame of the video shakes slightly as they crawl through undergrowth around the side of a property. They see a large, unkempt backyard and make their way carefully towards the door. Curiously, the back door has a padlock and chain around the inside, but not locked. You hear him psyching himself up gently, small breaths, small utterances, before he pulls the door very slightly open and gives a triumphant huff of air. Steps inside, and the camera scans the interior of an abandoned kitchen. The countertops are bare, inches of dust, and the occasional corpse of a fat spider laid on the surface of a table. There are holes where the appliances used to be that give the kitchen the appearance of a dark, gapped grin. And then as the camera pans, you see a pair of glowing green eyes shortly before a shout, and the camera clatters to the floor. The article is signed off by a Joshua Ryland. And that's where we'll be leaving our session for tonight.
Joshua?
Oh my.
Good stuff.
Oh. Oh my lordy. What a case. Oh my god, what a place to end it.
Oh my god.
Oh. Well, I don't know about you, but I have got very sweaty palms. I've got very sweaty
Ava
palms.
Bolden,
Knees
come
weak,
on.
arms are heavy.
Oh,
Knees
my
weak.
gosh.